welcome to the Author to Author podcast with me, Jasveer, author, the wacky training guy, and your host. For the first episode, I have a very special someone with me. She's an author, she's an engineer by profession, and a very talented model. Please join me in welcoming the amazingly talented best-selling author Nishtha Srivastava. Her debut book Rakshabandhan, The Fading Bonds of Faith is available on Amazon. Nishtha, welcome to the first episode of Author to Author, and congratulations on winning Miss India Shining Star 2020 and Miss India Vivacious 2020. Tell us, how was the experience?
Thank you so much, Jaspreet, for inviting me here, and I'm so glad, so happy that we're talking. And thank you for this wish. And I would say the recent achievement was like a dream come true. So, frankly speaking, I am a very simple girl from a very simple family, and it was just that every girl stands in front of the mirror, she admires her, and she wishes and dreams that someday something sensational will happen. And I would say it was just a dream come true, and I'm really enjoying it.
Wonderful, and more power to you. Let's have a short introduction. Tell our listeners, what do you do, how did you become an author, and how did you finally enter a beauty pageant?
Sure. So, Jasveer, I would say I am an engineering graduate by my qualification, and it is always said that engineers are diverse. So I would say that that is one thing. During my engineering days, I've really explored myself a lot. There were a lot many things I tried on. I failed for a lot many, and I've won a lot many. So since my childhood, I really, was a person who was very expressive when I talk. So if I have to convey a feeling, I would not just sum up in a line. I would always like to express it in a long paragraph so that I make sure I am conveying everything that is in my heart. And I was very little, Jasveer, when, once I wanted to convey something to my mother. And instead of just saying it verbally, I thought that I would write it. And when I wrote it and I was rereading it, I realized that it was the best form and the best way that I've ever conveyed her anything. And that's when I realized that, okay, Nishtha, probably, this is something that you can do at the best. And I started writing everything in my diary, everything. So it was in, 10th standard somewhere when I started writing this. And then gradually, once you get into college, a lot many things get add up, you get busy with everything, and that's how it went on. But the story of Rakshabandhan is something that was very close to my heart since a long time, and it's inspired by true instances around me. So I just said I'll write this story somewhere, and I was in second year when I started writing Rakshabandhan, but it was a very casual affair for me. I never thought that I'm going to get it published. Never thought I never thought it really. So I would say that I was saying that after my engineering, there were a lot many things I was doing. I was working with a multinational company back in Gurgaon, and I enjoyed doing theatre. So that is what I've done a lot in Delhi. And singing and dancing is always my passion that moves parallel. But then every night, every evening, when I used to sit and think that is there something that I'm missing in my life, the only answer always was Rakshabandhan. So, that was something in my heart since ever, Jasveer. And after, 2-3 years of my job, which was going smooth, last year in 2019, I realized that if I don't, complete this book, if I don't get this published, I'm going to miss something big in my life forever, and it would haunt me that Nishtha, you've done so far, you've written so many things, and you're just not reaching the climax. So I completed the book in the month of December, and then it started for the publishing process, and there were a lot many things going on, and finally on 3rd of August 2020, that is the day of Rakshabandhan, that was the day of Rakshabandhan this year, I got it published. And there were a lot of people who told me that taboo topics, not everybody likes. But what I believe is you should not think what readers will like and then you write. It should not be influenced. I believe that being a writer, being an author, It should be like, you should write something that people will automatically understand and enjoy. So that is my funda, and I did the same, and here it is.
True that, you should write from your heart. I firmly believe that. You should write what you believe in. And I think, something very important that you've mentioned over here is about writing. Writing is something that is kind of a fading art. People do not maintain their diary as, our previous generation used to do. Even I was not doing that. Initially, I was doing that as a young kid. But then somehow it was lost. Somehow it was lost in cable TV. Then came internet, and then mobile phones, smartphones. So it was kind of lost. But that is something I'm really impressed that you have been able to maintain a regular diary.
To add one thing, even before this call, I was sitting with my diary and my pen, and I was writing something. So this remains in my heart forever.
So a new book is coming soon, right?
Right, absolutely. It is on the way, and very soon you are going to read the next one.
I'm eagerly waiting for that. And congratulations, Rakshabandhan has been received quite well. The feedback has been phenomenal. You must be feeling really pumped up, motivated to write the next one.
Absolutely. It is said that appreciation gives you a lot of motivation. That is what I've got from Rakshabandhan.
Absolutely. The feedback matters for an author. What does writing really mean to you? I mean, why do you write?
Sure. So, Jasveer, I would say that, feelings that are unsung and stories that are felt but never shared actually encouraged me to take the charge. So, I really feel that we all live in a life of ignorance and often bypass things that should really be taken care of. Like, writing gives me that tremendous energy to come out of my comfortable zone, my comfy zone, and talk about offbeat topics, especially that I usually do, and really roar loud about pain and shout the hidden storms. And it really keeps me moving. And I write to please my heart and ensure that I keep nothing with me hidden. And that was really important to be shared. And I actually write to justify humanity because I believe that I write to speak for people and I write to be their voice.
I can relate to that, and that's so much true for many authors. Somebody asked me, what does writing mean to you? I said, writing is something that keeps me sane. So, yeah, I can absolutely relate to that. And the fact that you write to justify humanity, that is something really great. I really respect that, Nishtha. So, when did you start writing? Do you remember the first thing you ever wrote?
As I just said, I really started writing pretty early when I was little, very little, and I wanted to convey some feelings of mine to my mother. And the best way I could really do it well and really convey it well so that she understands what was there in my heart, I started writing that on a piece of paper. And after rereading it, I really understood that the way I have expressed in my writing, I could have never ever done it in my verbal form. That was the first time I wrote a lengthy letter of emotions, and soon after that, my writing space became my favorite place to express myself.
Do you feel that, when you're writing, you're actually lost into the world? Do you feel that often?
In another world, I am just not Nishtha, I am so many people that time.
I love that world too. The world full of adventure, and whatever you want to be, you can be in that world. You're the writer, you can be anything in that. I love that world. Nishtha, what was your source of inspiration for writing? And what is the source of inspiration? Has it changed somehow now?
I would love to answer this question, Jasveer, because since ever and till today and probably forever, my mother has been the biggest source of inspiration for everything I do. I would really say everything because I come from a very middle class family where collective decisions are taken for everybody at home. So, this decision, every small decision is collective. I live in a joint family, but my passion for music, dance, writing, and public speaking was all built by my mother. And, it was not easy to stage it. It was not an easy journey, but we've together struggled a lot. My mother has struggled a lot and she had a lot of clashes, but she had made sure and she kept her decision firm and she was ready to take every risk to accomplish my small dreams. And even today, when big opportunities knock, like this Miss India one was knocking out, and I look at her and ask her if I can walk, and she really pats my back and she says, "Oh, you have that wonder power, you just go off." So she's my inspiration forever.
Yeah, mothers are the pillar of strength behind every successful person, and uh, they deserve our utmost respect. Yeah, Nishtha, I'm sure everybody is eagerly waiting to listen to your favorite lines from your story. Let's have your favorite line from your book, Rakshabandhan.
It is just one since the day I wrote it, and since forever probably. It is, "The time flies over us, but it leaves its shadow behind of all its events." And I truly love this line from my book Rakshabandhan, and I believe that this plays a vital role in all our lives. I think that there is a loop between the past, present, and future, and it all comes together. So this is my favorite line from my book Rakshabandhan.
Right. And what is the most difficult part of your writing process, Nishtha?
So see, this is a little funny. So when I write, I really get deep inside the stories, and I weave them in a very deep. When I am asked by my editors and my publishers that, Nishtha, you have to cut them short, I realize that it is very difficult to express my oceans of feelings in just few words. So that's the most difficult part of my writing.
Yeah, that is even I'd echo that sentiment as an author. When somebody else tell you to make changes in your book based upon their preferences, yeah, that becomes really hard for me as well. You've really nurtured that character for how many times, for how many days you were writing it, or for how many months you were writing, and suddenly somebody says, you know what, isko thoda sa tweak kar do. Why don't you tweak it a bit?
It's
And,
so tough.
yeah, that happens. That happens. Yeah, I know that's pretty hard. So, what comes to you first, the plot or the characters, and why?
So I always keep the plot first for myself, because I believe that the characters get their place justified only once the plot is clear enough and portrayed well. So for me, the plot comes first.
Okay. And how did you come up with the title of your book?
So, Jasveer, there are two reasons. I'll tell you both the reasons together. So, one was, I was told by this by many people around, many people who were reviewing my content, that we have never heard of a book about siblings. So, so coming on with Raksha Bandhan, the title, the reason behind this is, people can write books on love stories, heartbreakings, there can be various titles, but probably the title and the subtitle that I have taken for my book, that is Raksha Bandhan, The Fading Bonds of Faith, will really push a lot of curiosity in everybody's mind, that Raksha Bandhan, the purest bond, with the tagline, The Fading Bonds of Faith. So that is the reason why I've taken this title.
Just for the understanding of the international listeners, I wanted to clarify that, Raksha Bandhan or Rakhi is a popular, traditionally Hindu annual festival wherein a sister ties a talisman or an amulet called Rakhi around the wrist of their brothers, symbolically for protecting them and receiving a gift in return. Think when I heard the title, I thought it was pretty unique. I hadn't heard any title, any kind of title or related title before. So yeah, for me as a reader, it was pretty unique, and that actually attracted me to read the book. So what do you as a writer need in your writing space to stay focused?
See, I would say there are many things that I look forward around me, but if you ask me specific things that, okay, what do you just see around you when you write a book? I would say that I always need a lamp at my writing space, as the focused light of the lamp on my writing pad really enlightens me to keep my heart confined. I would say, Jasveer, it might sound superficial to people, but this is very true for me. And being a writer by heart, I get a lot of energy from that focused lamp. And when that yellow light falls on my notepad, I feel very energetic and I feel very focused that this is the spotlight, and I have to pave something here.
Do you have a room wherein you write, a separate room for you, wherein
No,
none of your siblings are allowed to enter?
my family doesn't really like this part of mine, but in my small room, you won't believe, but last year I reconstructed a small area wherein it is just for writing, nothing else. It is just for writing, and that's my place. I don't like anybody touching it also.
Which actor would you want to play which character if it's made into a movie, your book?
So, Jasveer, I always put all the spotlight of Rakshabandhan over Nisha. She's my favorite character, and I would say that without any doubt, I would really love if Alia Bhatt would play the role, as she fits the best to the innocent soul Nisha, having that simple face, being that simple, and I really like her acting, so I would really like her to play Nisha.
So, Nishtha, we've talked a lot about you being as an author, but which writers have inspired you, and do you feel that they've influenced your writing style?
I would say, Jasveer, this question has only two answers for me. So there are two names, and I'm really a big, big fan of Ruskin Bond and Bashir Badr Sahab. They really inspire me, and every time I, pick my pen to write something, I just make sure that I write that lucid way of expression that both Ruskin Bond and just Bashir Badr Sahab does, because I feel, I don't know, not everybody agrees to it, but I feel that whenever you write, the choice of words should not be that that tough that people cannot understand it in one throw. I like lucid way of writing, lucid way of expression. That is what I like. So they really inspire me a lot.
Nishtha, I'm sure your readers are looking forward or raring to read more work. So tell us something about your future projects.
So, Jasveer, one of my anthology with Mohammad Iqbal, he's also one of bestsellers, and Megha Dutt is coming on 26th of January 21, that is Silence. And my next solo novel, I would say it is coming somewhere around March, April. I will not commit, but somewhere around that. And it is again on a taboo topic, and that is what I am. That is how I write. And I suggest readers to just stay tuned to see what's going to pop next. And I usually don't repeat content as every time I write the next thing. I get more ideas to lay. So I usually avoid repetition, and I aim at writing stories of women's society and humanity. So on your show, I would just like to say that the next one is about grandparents. So it's again going to be a topic.
All right. I'm sure it's going to be very different. And what do you have to say to countless young and aspiring authors? What is your message for them?
I would say this is very special if I can give some of my experiences and share it with people. So I would suggest them to create their own style of writing and work on their own expertise. So writing should be like, they should write what their heart feels and not what the market demands. That is my biggest learning throughout my journey. And as you know, you nail into something wherein you are the best, so you will automatically nail it and become the demand. So just work on something that is good in you, keep your originality in yourself, and just don't think about whether people will like it or not. Just write it. We make trend, so let's make new trends.
Yeah, I think that's the key to writing. Be inspired by others, but don't copy them. Be original. As long as you're original, people will love you. People will like your work. Nishtha, thank you so much for taking time out. You're the first one, so I wanted you to be the first one. A multi-talented personality, author, model. You're a IT professional, engineer, which is a very amazing combination. I know a lot of engineers who've got a very boring life, but you've got an exciting life. And I really hope to see more different things from you. So all the best for your future. And
I really like to thank you, Jasveer, for such an amazing opportunity. You know, I'm a person who loves to speak, and you gave me this wonderful chance, and I'm so happy that I was here with you, and I really enjoyed it a lot, and I really wish you a lot of luck for all your future endeavors, and I hope you keep on motivating authors like me forever.
it's my pleasure, Nishtha. Thank you so much for taking time out. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was author Nishtha Srivastava for you. Thank you so much for taking time out to listen to the podcast, and I'll see you the next time. Thank you so much.